Breaking news. The Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, Peter Obi, has called for peace following the invasion of the party's headquarters by members of the National Transition Committee. It was reported that the members of the Nigeria Labour Congress National Transition Committee had stormed the party's secretariat on Tuesday, demanding the immediate resignation of the national chairman, Julius Abure, and the acting chairman of the Transition Committee, Umar, led members of the Labour Union to the secretariat, chanting solidarity songs and calling for the resignation of Abure because his tenure as the chairman of the party has expired. However, security officials immediately shut the gates when the NLC members arrived at the party's headquarters, and in an attempt to prevent the protesters from forcing their way into the premises, the police had fired tear gas to dispatch the protesters, who were heard shouting endlessly at the security men to open the gate. While addressing the protesters after the tension was down, Peter Obi played down the party's internal crisis, saying that they were all working for a united front. The former Anambra State governor explained that he is so keen on initiating a peaceful reconciliation process involving bringing together the party's fractions. And as we must see, Obi has already said that at this point he will look at reconciliation. He must work towards reconciliation if the party wants to remain strong and firm, and he will make sure the process goes on smoothly. Obi spoke on the reconciliation of Abure and Lamidi Apapa fashion, stressing that the National Executive Council himself and the Abia State Governor Alex Oti would decide on the leadership crisis in the party. And at this point, Obi is out to make peace within the Labour Party. So guys, I must say the Labour Party of recent have been showing some signs of internal crisis which are quite obvious, not to talk of the current merger between the Lamidi Apapa and the Julius Abure faction of the Labour Party, how they reconciled, but in a bid to fight off Obi from the party. But yet, Obi did not react to such statements, and the Labour Party had earlier, received a communique. They sent out a communique saying that Peter Obi will not be their presidential candidate ahead of the 2027 elections. Now, I guess such communique must have, been coming from a faction of the Labour Party and not the whole Labour Party, because after that communique was released, another Labour Party faction came out and said, oh, that Labour Party is the only party that is ready to produce Peter Obi as the presidential candidate of the 2023 presidential elections. And the leadership of the Labour Party has said that they will remain focused on the 2027 election. Hence, it is the only party in the country that has produced a presidential candidate, apparently referring to Peter Obi, the same candidate that it fielded in 2023 and 2027. So they are going to bring Peter Obi back. But other Labour Party factions are saying, no, Peter Obi will not be their, candidate. So it's kind of confusing. A lot of confusion have been going in the Labour Party. And you can imagine a house that is divided against itself. That kind of house will not stand. Labour Party came with the ideologies, with their own ideologies, focusing on workers' welfare, the welfare of Nigerians, the welfare of the people, productivity, and all of that. But then we tend to see some clashes with the NLC and the Labour Party. The NLC claiming they formed the party, so as such they want to take over the party's leadership. And the likes of Abure and Lamidi Apapa are opposing, saying no. So this confusion here and there is really messy, and this shouldn't proceed towards the 2027 elections, because this will create a big problem for now. It's best they solve and they resolve within themselves than to allow this issue to escalate further. And not to top it all, when Kenneth Okonkwo stated that the Labour Party seems to be a secret society, because the things that are being done, it doesn't involve carrying other members along. So why would they engage in such activities when they won't let other members to know? But Obi, who have convened a meeting with the stakeholders to reconcile aggrieved members of the party, stated that peace will be restored to Labour Party. And the National Transition Committee, formed by the Nigerian Labour Congress on Tuesday, had stormed the party's headquarters and demanded that the battled national chairman Julius Abure should resign. He should drop his position. The National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party, Abure, had expressed satisfaction on the leadership roles of Peter Obi, who have been playing in the party in making sure the party return to a formidable entity capable enough to engender the new Nigeria we hope for. And I really hope the Labour Party would go into this reconciliation project so that their future will not be truncated, because with the help of Obi, the party has grown to fame and popularity with the help of Obi and the Obedience. But let's not forget that the Obedience are not partakers of the Labour Party. The Obedience are not in any way connected to any political party in Nigeria. It was just a coincidence that Obi came up under the Labour Party and they've supported Peter Obi as their presidential candidate. So I'm sure at this moment, all political parties in Nigeria, the Labour Party and other opposition parties, are focused on the 2027 elections, just like the APC are also focused on the 2027 presidential election. And no one would want a case of confusion within these parties, because this would bring about distractions and it would cost them a lot if they should go ahead with this. So Obi, who addressed the Labour Party leaders, said that he will reconcile the aggrieved members. They should come together. I mean, the reconciliation between Lamidi Apapa and Julius Abure, it's kind of a welcoming development, and this reconciliation would be for the greater good of the party if they should work together. Not will be seen the fashion of the Lamidi Apapa and the Julius Abure. No, no, no. A divided house cannot stand. So guys, these are reactions from Nigerians. Prudent man, what is happening here? Very, very soon you will know the mission of Joe Ajuro and the NLC and his TUC friend. Okay guys, these are reactions from Nigerians. So my country people, I really hope that the Labour Party gets to work themselves out, reconcile with other aggrieved members. They should come together ahead of the 2027 presidential elections. They should avoid all unnecessary distractions that will sway their minds from their main target and their pursuits, and they should set their ideologies straight so as not to bring confusion into the party. I'm dropping here guys. Kindly share your thoughts on this in the comment section. Thank you.